Day 2 of the 2024 NBA Draft is a couple of hours away, so fittingly coming up on 76ers Now. Round 2 draft targets for Philadelphia. Top players available for Philadelphia to select with pick number 41 in this afternoon's draft. Jared McCain was the selection last night for Philadelphia. High-volume shooter, high-volume scorer, has a lot of potential at the next level. Knocked down 41% of his threes last year. Good personality. I think that can be contagious in helping the Sixers culture. A player offensively who can score from all three levels, limitless range. And I understand the concerns about having two small guards in the backcourt with Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain. That is a viable concern. This is a wing-driven league, and I think you win championships with wings. But you have Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain in addition to Joel Embiid. And keep in mind that free agency gets underway on Sunday. I imagine Daryl Morey, or at least I hope Daryl Morey, has some big moves in store so that this roster can take shape. This roster will make some more sense. I would have gone with Dalton Connect because I think he's a ready-to-contribute wing who can score in volumes at the next level, but I do like the selection of Jared McCain, and I think that him and Tyrese Maxey can form a very good and potent scoring backcourt for Philadelphia. Speaking of Day 2 and Round 2 of the NBA Draft, we'll be live today. Show getting underway 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Hit that subscribe button for year-round coverage of the Sixers, but also hit that bell icon, turn on those notifications. Therefore, when we do go live, when we push out a show like this, you'll be notified. Let's take a look at our Round 2 draft targets. I want to begin here with Kyle Filipowski, the center out of Duke. He is my top player available. And if I'm Daryl Morey and company, I would explore trading up if the draft board continues to fall your way. Daryl Morey even said in his post-round 1 press conference that they got a call from another team offering up a really interesting player for the 16th overall pick. But Philadelphia had Jared McCain as a top 10 player in this draft class. I always am an advocate for going best player available. And if the draft board falls in the way of Philadelphia, Kyle Filipowski is the best player available. I would try to move up to take him. I think he should have been a first-round pick. You probably do need to trade up to get him because I don't think he's available at 41. He's going to be a sought-after second-round target, but he would be a tremendous backup behind Joel Embiid. 6'10", 3/4, 230 pounds, highly skilled, offensively very talented. He can score at all three levels, down low, mid-range, three-point shot. I like the touch. I like the form. He's a capable playmaker, makes the right reads when given the ball as a playmaking hub. There are some athletic limitations that will limit his defensive ceiling and rim protection abilities, but he'd be a backup big on this team. And you think about the backup center situation behind Joel Embiid, Filipowski would be the most skilled big that has ever backed up Joel Embiid. That is not a lie. That is a fact. Here's what the Ringer's Kevin O'Connor says about Filipowski as a prospect here. Fluid ball handler, capable of running actions like a guard or a wing, whether it's pick and rolls or handoffs as the receiving player. He can attack out of actions in a straight line or fluidly use crossovers and spin moves. Projects as a reliable three-point shooter because of his soft touch. What did I mention moments ago? I like the touch. 16.5 points per game last year for Duke. 8+ rebounds, a block and a half. So while he might struggle defensively, he can at least hold up a little bit as far as protecting the rim. 50.5% from the field, sub 35% from three, but I think he can get better in that area. Johnny Furphy, the forward out of Kansas, coming in as prospect number 2 for our round 2 draft targets. This is another player you can make the argument should have gone in round 1. You can also make the argument he should have gone back to school, and if he did, next year in the draft, he would have been selected in the first round. But once again, this could be worth the trade up here. 19.5 years old. Obviously, the Sixers need to bulk up at that wing spot. Johnny Furphy, by way of Melbourne, Australia, 6'7.5", 189 pounds. Solid size at that wing spot, and great form shooter with a really strong base in his lower half. High release point. Not a lot of wasted movement either. Active defender, always keeping his hands out unlikely to become a lead ball handler unless he develops significantly. But if he plays off ball, I'm fine with that. Already added a great shooter in McCain, did Philadelphia here, north of 40% from downtown. He can make it rain. Johnny Furphy, he can add to that too. I'm always a fan of having more shooters. Furphy from Kevin O'Connor has elite awareness for finding open space off the ball, whether it's deep behind the arc for spot-up threes or on cuts to the rim. Constantly moving and displays the shooting prowess to someday be a major force, launching threes off screens and handoffs. Now, last year at Kansas, the numbers won't blow you away. This is more of an upside pick, which is why I'm fine with taking this player in the second round. 9 points per game, less than 5 rebounds, almost a steal per night, 46.6% from the deck, and then 35% from three. Nick Nurse has done a good job of developing shooters and helping players improve their craft from distance. We picked up 143 subscribers during yesterday's live show for night one of the NBA draft. Can we beat that today? First of all, thank you, real ones, for hopping on board supporting the program, but hit that sub button for the best year-round coverage of the Sixers right here on YouTube. Tyler Smith checking in at number 3. Couple of G League Ignite players were taken last night in round 1. Tyler Smith going to go at some point in round 2 here. He's from Houston, Texas, under 20 years old, 6'9", 224 pounds, a very good athlete at that wing spot. I think Tyler Smith would definitely get some run with the Delaware Bluecoats at first. Very explosive finisher, whether in transition, on putbacks, or off alley-oops. Smooth jumper, shot efficiently with the Ignite. High-energy player, but needs to give more effort on the boards and defense. Can Nick Nurse bring that out of him? We've said that the Sixers need wing athleticism. Not sure if Kelly Oubre is going to be back or not. Doesn't get a lot better as far as value and wing play in the second round. Then Smith here is a smooth shooter with good footwork and a quick release, making over 40% of his threes. More of a standstill threat at this point. Potential versatile weapon in the two-man game. He's an effective roller, catching lobs and occasionally dunking over defenders. Last year on a talented Ignite team, but if you watch them, it is bad basketball. 13 points per game, 5 rebounds. I think he can get better as far as an assist man, but 47.5% from the field and 36% from three. It's pretty solid right there. Jaylen Bridges, a forward out of Baylor, has some good size, has some good length, has some solid athleticism. Another player who kind of helps you at that wing forward spot. Older player, 23 years old, compared to some of his counterparts in the draft, but the size checking in at 6'6", 3/4", so he's nearly 6'7", at 213 pounds. He's a really good offensive player that is malleable. He can fit in any scheme. He can also be a versatile player on the defensive end, defending multiple positions. He cuts well. He has length to finish around the rim. Obviously important at the NBA level when players are more athletic and bigger. Limited creator, so he's going to have to play in the flow of an offense, but I think he could fit well in Nick Nurse's offense. If he hits his upside, he could be an Aaron Gordon type of player. Aaron Gordon was drafted to be a star for the Orlando Magic. Wasn't a star. Dunk contest legend for sure, but wasn't a star. He goes to Denver, perfect fit. The NBA, basketball, sometimes it's all about fit. And keep that in mind here when you talk about some of these players in this draft class and some of these draft targets for Philadelphia and Jared McCain for that matter. The Ringer's Kevin O'Connor, dynamic shooter with clean mechanics who can run off screens or take threes off the dribble. Competitive defender with the long wingspan who can switch screens to defend multiple positions or fight through them and slide his feet to mirror opposing shot creators. Last year with Baylor, 12 points per, just a shade under 6 rebounds, more than a steal, so he can be that active defender. 46.6% from the field, 41% from three. Talk to me. Trentyn Flowers. This would probably be the most raw player on your screen right here as far as these round 2 draft targets. I think that he would definitely be a player who spends almost all of the year with the Delaware Bluecoats. Only 19 years old, just turned 19 a couple of months ago. Played in the NBL last year for the Adelaide 36ers. No connection there with the 76ers. 6'6.5", 201 pounds. The intriguing part of Trenton Flowers, superb athlete. Really quick first step, great bounce, turned some heads at the NFL scouting at the NBA scouting combine. No offensive game right now, like at all. Can't create off the dribble. Jump shot still needs work. Has a lot of upside if given time to develop. So he would not be a part of the Sixers rotation. 76ers did work him out in the pre-draft process, and we talked about that here on 76ers Now. So a name to keep an eye on just because of that familiarity, but also Philadelphia could have been not impressed by the player and elect not to take him. Scouting report on him. Bursty driver who doesn't shy away from contact or length as he spins and pivots his way into the paint. Lob threat who feeds off set plays to get dunks, and he runs the floor hard in transition to make himself available for kick-aheads. Flashes the potential to be a fearless shot taker, even with the hand in his face. And with the 36ers last year, this speaks to the rawness, if you will, of Trenton Flowers. 5 points per game, less than 3 rebounds, 43.5% from the field, sub 36% from 3, in very limited playing time, only 12.7 minutes per game. So, Chip, we bring you on, the GOAT. You look at these 5 draft targets for Philadelphia. Some you might have to trade up for. Some might fall to you at 41. Who do you like here?
Yeah, look, if you can find a way to trade up to that top end of the second round to get a Kyle Filipowski, I'm all in. We need size. We've been saying it for a while now. And Kyle Filipowski, well, he wouldn't be necessarily the rim-protecting, big-body center that maybe some people want. I think his versatility offensively, as a playmaker, as a scorer, as a shooter, he can do so much, and I think that's very, very valuable to an offense, especially coming off the bench. So how much is it going to cost, really, to trade up in the second round? Do you trade a couple future second-round picks to move up from 41 to maybe 35? Just move up 5, 6 spots and you can land him. I like Johnny Furphy as well. Now, a younger player, so someone like him, Tyler Smith, Trentyn Flowers, all younger guys who probably won't make much of an impact right away. I do like Jaylen Bridges a lot as a player that if they stick at 41, he is good enough where he can, I think, contribute as a second-round pick, at least in the back end of that rotation. At least he has the skills to theoretically be able to do it. The three-point shot being there is great. So keep an eye on these 5 guys. Of course, second round, and this draft as a whole has been kind of all over the place, so I'm sure we're going to see a lot of movement in the second round compared to what we saw in the first round, but these are 5 guys that wanted you to keep your eyes on, and 5 guys in the Sixers I think could be interested in here.
5 targets right there from Chip and myself. With that, we pose this question. Who is your number 1 target for the 76ers at pick number 41? Let us know down in the comment section. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll be live here in a couple of hours. Day 2, round 2, 2024 NBA Draft.